My name is Blessing of Peru, and I'm from Abia State. I am a missionary nurse. A mission story, but that won't be complete if I don't start with my salvation story. Okay, many years back, not so long. Okay, I was 11 at then, so I began hearing about Jesus. And one thing that caught my attention was the fact that people always talk about their joy, the joy they experience when they give their life to Christ. And so I desired that joy. Like, who doesn't like joy? So I started seeking for it. But for the next 6 years, from 11 to 18, I didn't find salvation. Until when I was 18, I had this dream. Mind you, I had been intentional about seeking salvation. I had answered all the altar calls I could remember. I had gone to videos, churches, crusades, all of those things. But none gave me that joy. I was looking for joy. It wasn't really salvation. It was not that I began to understand that it wasn't really salvation I was looking for. I was looking for the joy. So I had this. So I kept answering altar calls, but not getting that joy. So eventually, at 18, I had a dream. Can you imagine a dream? Just a dream in the night, a dream. Meanwhile, I had been going for crusades and all of that, and seeking salvation. So in that dream, the Lord told me to go to the market, the local market in my village, to go and preach. I finished preaching, and then He said, "Go to the village behind the market and go and preach." And I went to preach. I still remember the preaching I did, but I won't talk about it now. So after that, I wouldn't say I had so much of discipleship. So discipleship was what was lacking. It lacked in my early days as a believer. And so that birthed in me a desire to disciple young people, knowing that they need to understand what salvation is really about, knowing that they need to know what's the Bible's prescription or standard of salvation, and all of these things. You understand? So I just continued, involving myself in youth ministries, teenagers ministries, church programs, fellowships, all those things. And then eventually, that's about my salvation story. And so eventually I got into school. So I went to study nursing, and I poured myself into this church, into the school's fellowship, the missions department. Okay, that's actually when I started, getting to know the discovery about missions started coming. Because when I had that dream, I didn't know it was mission. It was mission oriented. So I met this mentor who was building a small mission group. So I joined them and all of those things. At the end of the year, we'll go for outreaches. And so the first outreach, I went to Benin Republic, and I remember being very passionate that nothing would stop me from attending that. So I remember going to that program, and I saw youths who they were energetic, alive, vibrant, but they had no knowledge of Jesus, and that broke my heart. I remember that night, as I came back from the crusade, I just knelt down crying, "Lord, save the young people of this nation," because I knew the land will do more if the youth get saved and all of that. So that's how I started growing gradually and all of those things. So I remember one time in school when I started asking God, how will I use this mission, this nursing, to serve your purpose? Because I'd come to understand that every profession for a believer is a platform. So for me, I had understood that nursing for me is a platform to express every other skill and talent and mission God is going to give me. So the Lord said, get the skill and add it to the soul. That was 2018. The first time I went for mission exposure was 2017. And I remember entering Benin Republic, the Lord said, missions will take you to nations. And so I continued, finished school, and then eventually I finished school, and what every other youth, every other young Nigerian nurse and, youth wants to do. I began pursuing the Jabba things. So I began pursuing international nursing career, and that was just so favored. Like the Lord favored me, and I was just having success in the processes and continued. I was just flowing. As at that point, I had worked in the secular world, in secular job for a year plus. And halfway into the international nursing processes, the Lord started speaking. that it was time to do missions. It was time to now use the skill of nursing to serve the world. Hey, so the Lord began talking about missions, and like every other person, I don't know, but then I started running. Like I was like, no, God, you can't be serious. You can't be serious because the whole international nursing thing is getting to the peak. So what are you trying to say? But then at a point, I now said, okay, Lord, you know what? I am going to give you just 1 month. What you wanted is to use the nursing skill to combine it with the sword, right? So I'm going to give you 1 month. So as at that point, I had come to know CAPRO. CAPRO is Calvary Ministries, a non-denominational mission agency. So I applied to go and do Operation Joshua in their clinic, which is in Jos. And so I went to they approved of it, and so I went to Jos, hoping to spend just 1 month. And meanwhile, I took all my applications and everything, waiting that once, even if I didn't finish that 1 month, once the whole thing clicked, I would leave everything and I would jump back. I went, and the very first night I spent in Jos, the Lord said, there's this name I've always called God. I call him Abba because he revealed himself to me as a father, loving father. So the Lord said to me in that dream that I will be your Abba, your source and your sustainer. So don't even bother about what how you will be sustained in missions, how you will stand in for family, do all the whole expectations and all of that. So God gave answers to different questions. And so at that point, instead of saying, okay, yes, Lord, I'm ready, I continued like God. I kept asking questions, a lot of questions. But then eventually, within the first week of being in Jos, the Lord started speaking in different ways at different points. And so because I came to the clinic, I also went for an outreach in Abuja. So it was in that outreach that the Lord finally got his baby to say, yes, Abba, I'm ready for missions. So that's how I got into missions. And then eventually, the very weekend I said, yes, Lord, the Monday of that weekend, the very next week, was when the Global Institute for Transformation, the satellite arm of this Calvary Ministries, was going to start their 1-year training. Can you imagine who does that? It's only God that can orchestrate all of that. And so for that, I joined them that weekend, from 1 month Operation Joshua to 1 week in the field and then into mission training. And so I joined them, and the Lord began to reveal himself in different ways. The training was transformational indeed, and I finished the training, still holding on to the fact that I am going to serve the Lord, discipling teenagers and all of that. So towards the end of the training, I went for what is called 1 month field exposure, which is called field trip. So when I went for that period, at that point, I was asking God some questions for him to establish the calling. And so the Lord was patient with me. Why I'm talking about this angle is that you may think that it's not time to say yes to mission because you don't have the full picture of what God wants you to do. But I'm here to tell you that God, yes, the work, there is urgency for the work, but God is not in a hurry. He takes you through the process that is scripted for you. So he gradually unfolded the angle of ministry he wants to use me to. So it was in that 1 month he established the angle, the area I'll be doing this ministry and everything. And so after that training, I came to this land, Canberra land. So here, one of the approaches we use for ministry is the school. So I am working currently in the school as a nurse, as a teacher, as a discipler, and also by extension, serving the community. So here we have about 84 pupils, and I and my other colleagues, we are we are sold out to discipling these ones, building them, encouraging them, and equipping them and sending them forth into the community to go and reach out to their family members, to their brothers, because see, in this family, okay, using the nursing mindset and the youth mindset and the human advocate mindset. When I came into this community, one of the things that, that shook me was the fact that in a family, I'm seeing about 8 children under 5. And I'm wondering, why is that? And these under 5 children, there is no hope. There is no, like, nothing tells you, nothing certifies the fact that they will all go to school. So they just give birth a lot. They are into, they encourage polygamy. And so they give birth to lots of children. Like currently, there's a family I know that they have 21 children. And out of the 21, there's only 3 that are given the opportunity to go to school from 3 different wives. And so 1 child from each wife, which means the remaining 18 children will have no room for, any establishment or something. So everybody grows in the community, lives and dies in the community. All they do is farm work and all of those things. But then Jesus came for more. Jesus gave us access to more. And so Jesus also tells us that you can use what you have. You can use the training you've got. You can use your skill. Currently, and one of our colleagues is here in the Cumberland, and he's into tech and media and all of those things. And he's using that to encourage us who are working here in the field, and also to connect us with the people out there. Now I am trained as a nurse, and I'm here using the nursing skill to serve these people. Now I am beckoning on all the nurses out there. Yes, everybody wants to go out, but please, there are people who, they may not pay you. But then you don't just have nursing, you also have Jesus. So you can give them Jesus and give them nursing. And then that will be tremendous investment in people's life. And then for the school, there are a lot of, like when you encounter this kid, you know that you need to do a lot of mind work to really help them to get to think of possibilities out there. Like, we come from a place where we have opportunities, access to, what's happening out there in the world. But these are people who, all they know is this environment. All they know is the community. All they know is the farm. All they know is the family. There is more to life. Can we all put hands together as we pray? You're out there, you're working. In your place of work, yes, you are a missionary out there too. Not everybody will come into the field. But let us partner together. Let's work together. Let's put the money, the resources, the skill, the praying capacity, and the encouragement for one another, to one another. And let's get this work going. The Great Commission is for everybody. And I know you're going to do it. And I trust you. We're doing it.